Point made. The Royals opened up their season series with their Central Division rivals, the Detroit Tigers, last night, and made an emphatic statement to start off 2015. They pounded out 14 hits, 8 runs, and got an outstanding pitching performance from Danny Duffy to beat Detroit 8-1. Tonight, the Royals look to begin May the way they left April, with another win against the Tigers. The top teams in the American League meet on a beautiful Friday night at Kauffman Stadium. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The Royals will try and build on last night's 8-1 victory over the Tigers in Game 1 in front of a sellout crowd at Kauffman Stadium. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery will be joining us in just a moment. Hud, last night's win meant what?
Well, if I could speak for the Royals players, and I will, not on our turf. Not after what they experienced last year at the K. The Royals were only 2-8 against the Tigers when they came in here. At least not in Game 1, not on our turf.
You know, the last 3 years, people have been saying if the Royals could just hit like they pitch and then defend, man, they've really got something. And in our AT&T U-verse rewind from last night, the Royals, they're among the league leaders in many offensive categories in the major leagues.
It's been impressive throughout the first month of April, no doubt about it. There are many wonderful sounds during the course of a baseball game. But for me, the sound of that bat making contact with that baseball, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Royals lead the major leagues with a .306 team batting average. They lead the American League in on-base percentage. And that first line there, that's the magic number for the Royals. It's been that way for 3 years. When the Royals can score 4 or more runs, they're virtually unbeatable, and they're back at it again this year. They are 14-2. And tonight, Chris Young, a late addition to the Royals in spring training, will make his first start as Edison Volquez is on the suspended list. And Joel and Monty will discuss his impact early in this 2015 season.
veteran, has been around, and what a success story. He was among the best in baseball, an all-star in 2007, but made just 8 starts from 2010 to 11 with shoulder surgery. Did not pitch in 2013, but he came back, was excellent for the Mariners last year, the AL Comeback Player of the Year, and during spring training, signed a deal with the Royals to pitch out of their bullpen, give them some depth. That is what's happening tonight. Joel Goldberg, alongside of Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. So when they got Chris Young, they got a smart guy. He went to Princeton. They got a guy that played basketball. That might not help him. But he's tall at 6'10". Not exactly a Randy Johnson type pitcher, though, is he?
No, not at all. He's got pinpoint location. He pitches with great deception, Joe. He's a guy that is going to use the ballpark. A lot of fly ball outs. You're going to see some Chris Young tonight. And a lot of people are going to wonder, what's his pitch count, since this is his first start of the season? And really, he has none. Dave Island says the hitters are going to let him know what the time for him to leave this ballgame will be. So no pitch count on Chris Young tonight. Hopefully keeps the ball down, keeps the ball in the ballpark.
And deception, you say, is the big key for him.
Exactly. He's a guy that hides the ball very well, and he has pinpoint location. He's going to climb the ladder a lot intentionally.
This will be the 189th career start for the big right-hander, but his first as a Royal, and first pitch is coming up next.
Is brought to you by AT&T Uverse high-speed internet. The Uverse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Visit your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles today. And by the Missouri Lottery, every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Brad Ausmus, and 10 years ago it would have been a shock that the Tigers selected him when Jim Leland retired, but a recent trend of former players with very little coaching or managerial experience. Mike Matheny, Walt Weiss, Robin Ventura, Brad Ausmus now part of what is a growing list of managers of people as much as managers of baseball teams.
Certainly not a shocker. He was a former catcher and a really good one. Those guys understand the pitching game very well.
6'10" Chris Young. And he had only made one relief appearance as a major leaguer before this year, and now he's made 5 and takes the mound as a starter for the first time as a Royal. And pitches to Anthony Gose, who fouls it away.
Very comfortable position for Chris Young. He's used to being a starter. That's what he does. Not going to overpower anybody, even though at his height, at 6'10", 260, you'd think he has a little downhill angle, but really it's a little deceptive to the hitter. Fastball 87 to 90. He's got a slider, pretty good one. He'll mix a couple of different changes with that, and an occasional changeup. A few changes of speed with his slider, but mainly fastball slider.
2-1 on Anthony Gose. Tigers got him from the Blue Jays and been using him in a platoon with Rajai Davis in center field. Davis played last night and was 1 for 4 with an RBI.
Well, they knew, like most every other team knows about Gose, is his defense. He's a good defender, very quick, it takes good roots to the ball. They knew he could handle center. But so far, starting the season, the first month, hitting .314 with a homer is pretty good.
Chris Young strikes him out with a slider down, 1 away.
What a pleasure to talk about the Ford-sponsored Royals defense, because it is fun to talk to. Tallest pitcher ever to start for the Royals? That's right. We're seeing it right here, witnessing it. Second game of the series. Hopefully, he can continue to do what he has done against the Tigers in his career. I was a little shocked coming in, a little nervous. I hadn't seen the numbers yet, wondering about this solid hitting Detroit Tigers team facing a guy like Young, who's not overpowering. He's got to hit his spots. And then when I saw the numbers in 4 career starts, 2-0 with a 1.67, it's only given up a 181 batting average. Immediately I started to say, he's done to the Tigers what he's done to the Royals.
Quickly 0-2 on Ian Kinsler, and now Kinsler chases that slider down and away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Young to begin tonight. Well, this is where velocity doesn't mean much to a guy like Chris Young. Now you look at the rest of the guys in this list, big arms, big strikeouts. Major league pitchers in the game today with at least 1,000 innings pitched. That's a lot. Only Clayton Kershaw has a lower opponent batting average than Chris Young. Miguel Cabrera into deep left center field. How about an 8-pitch 1-2-3 top of the first for Young. In session, over 28,000, and we expect a lot more here tonight. Royals last night, 8 runs, 14 hits, All 9 Royals had at least 1 hit. 8 Royals scored a run. And here's how their lineup tonight, presented by State Farm. And the change, Paulo Orlando is in right field with the left-hander on the mound in place of Gerard Dyson. Dyson had a good game last night with 3 hits, a run scored, and perhaps the best defensive play of the game.
Ned Yost hasn't made a wrong move yet. Every change he's made in that lineup has been just outstanding. They're all performing for him.
Hold on the ground to Cabrera. And he's back to the bag with Alex hustling up the line, 1 down. Kyle Lobstein. Again, Mike Moustakas with 1 out, nobody on, and Mike Moustakas, whether a bunt or a swing, has just been wearing out left field.
Yep, and you know what? He deserves all the credit. He's the one who's been working on this. He knew he had it in him, but until he could come out and perform it when the season started, the bell rang, he didn't have the confidence, but now he's doing it, and he's done it. He's doing a great job this year, and also hitting against lefties. 359 with a homer this year. Tells me he's keeping his front shoulder in, and he's just got a 2-strike approach.
And in the count, 2-0. And we will call him our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. He has 16 hits to left field in this at bat, or coming into this at bat, 1 fewer than all of last year. So there's an example of the dramatic change. This time he pulls it on the ground to Cabrera, but look at that, Hud. 1 more hit to left field, and that will match all of 2014.
Yeah, this is really amazing. It'll just tell you what that 0-for-21 start did for him. It really pressed him. He felt like he had to pull the ball, and that's what most hitters think when they get off to such a slow start. But Dale Swaim has helped him in the mental department, telling him to let the ball travel deeper, keep your same swing, just keep your hands inside the ball. You can do it. Sometimes at this level, that's all it takes. These guys are accomplished big league hitters. They're not in the minors. You're not trying to tinker with them and trying to adjust their swings or anything like that. This is just more of a mental side, is what a hitting coach is for. Okay, Kyle Lobstein, 6'3", 200. There's not a Royal batter that's ever faced him. He's going to throw a two-seam sinking fastball. He'll cut his fastball, tries to keep it down and away from right-handed hitters. Got a curve.
Cespedes cuts it off. Kane takes a wide turn. Cespedes has a Bo Jackson type of arm, so Kane holds with a 2-out single.
They had just that slow curve there he tried to get over. Lorenzo Cain was able to pick it up because he's not overpowering, and he's got a changeup that he'll use. So he's a pitch to contact guy, high 3/4 delivery, and he's smooth and easy. Got a very nice delivery.
Now, that's a long way away from the Coke bottle like glasses, you know, the bigger Paul Splittorff type.
That's
but
right.
I don't know about you, but all those things that you just mentioned that he does well. Plus, do you want to dig in against a pitcher that has glasses on?
Well, you know, it's a different look, that's for sure. But I tried never to look the pitcher in the face too often. Try to pick up that release point. Because there are some pitchers, really, that if you stared at them very long, you'd go blind.
Kane stole a base last night. Thought about a little delayed steal there as Hosmer fouls it away.
Lobstein's, he'll go 1-3, sometimes 1.5 seconds home. He's got a high leg kick, and you can run off him. The Royals certainly will. You know, Rusty Kuntz, he's studied Lobstein up and down. He's got every little tip for his hitters by studying video every day of the starting pitcher. He has his keys. That's Rusty Kuntz's game, the first base coach.
And like a good hitter, you can only learn so much on video. You learn more by facing him, and Rusty's picking up information right now just standing in the coach's box, watching Lobstein either throw to first like he did here or go to the plate. It's very common to see Rusty, after a throw over to first, he'll walk over and relay that information immediately.
Lots of times a base runner will just look over at him. He'll wink, maybe with one eye, or blink both. You know, they have different ways of giving signs to steal. And that's the advantage of having a great first base coach like Rusty. You don't hear many broadcasters talk about great base coaches. We can with Rusty.
And now Hosmer tears a page out of Mike Moustakas' book, and he bunts for a base hit.
You can afford to do that when you have a hitter like Kendrys Morales coming up behind you. That's a great heads-up play. Look at the shift. Detroit Tigers are shifting these guys just like they did last year. Look, it's not the same offensive lineup from last year. Good pitch to bunt. It was elevated. Hosmer was really perfect. He gave himself up because there's no one going to throw him out. Just get the ball down. Excellent bunt base hit. Now that's the fourth bunt base hit. Moose has 3 and Haas has 1.
And here are the Royals with a chance to drive in a run with 2 outs. They have driven in 49 this year with 2 outs. That's the most in the major leagues. Let me add to your point, Hud. Eric Hosmer's never faced Kyle Lobstein before. Hosmer's hitting .231 against lefties this year. He'll improve that. So in his mind, what are the odds of him hitting a 2-run home run against this guy? Pretty slim. So get on base and let a right-hand bat, veteran bat, take a shot at this guy.
Totally agree with you. Change up first pitch.
Off the end of the bat by Cabrera. And it might score 2. RBIs with 2 outs for the Royals this year. All alone at the top in the major leagues.
Brad Ausmus, he has a look of shock on his face. His young lefties never faced this Royals lineup. They got pounded last night by the Royals, and now all of a sudden with 2 outs, he's thinking they're going to get out of this inning. And look at that. Sure going good when you get a squeaker right by Cabrera at first base. Picking up a couple stakes. Hosmer with the bunt. Oh, man. Can't ask for more than that in the first inning with 2 outs.
Royals drove in 5 of their 8 runs with 2 outs last night. And now 2 right away tonight. Getting us to Salvador Perez. Eight doubles for Morales. An 8-game hitting streak for Morales. He leads the Royals with 19 RBIs. And if you want more, he has hit safely in 21 of the Royals' 23 games.
Lobstein, fastball, cutter. He'll cut the fastball into righties and lefties. Curveball and changeup, basic 4. Finesse guy, not overpowered.
Oh, 2.
Royals has an offensive team against left-handed starters this year. .297 with 7 homers. Good mark.
We've seen a couple good change-ups from him already tonight. And that, if you go by opponent's batting average, is his most effective pitch. One and 2.
Nice breeze helping right-handers out tonight at the K. Not that Salvi needs any help. Lobstein hasn't given up a home run so far this season.
And that's stroked into left center field. Ghost fires it all the way to the plate. Lobstein is not backing up the play. It is 3-0 Royals, and Perez goes to third.
Ned Yost, very calm. The fans not so calm. They're excited, and why not? That's a pitch down low. Salvi, one of the best low ball hitters there are in the game. Now, he's not as good as Mike Trout yet with that low pitch, but man, you're making a mistake if you throw that ball down anywhere around the knees on him. My opinion. Ghost, nice arm, but man, I don't think his chances of getting Morales were very good. Salvi says, I'll get nice and loose and run all the way to third base on you.
All this started with 2 outs and nobody on. In fact, the first 3 hitters, or 3 of the first 4, just hit little ground balls to first base. Morales got his by Cabrera, but with 2 outs and nobody on, a swinging single, a bunt single, a 2-run double, an RBI single, and Perez going to third on an error.
Talked about how calm Ned is, and he's just watching his boys go to work. Although he doesn't use the term kids anymore like he used to. These guys are grown men now.
Omar Infante was 1 for 4 last night. Originally a Detroit Tiger when he signed out of Venezuela as a 16-year-old. 2-0. Three balls, no strikes. Now Lobstein isn't totally to blame because some of the balls weren't hit very hard, but he's had trouble in this spot right here where the Royals have scored 3. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, period. As the offense turns up the heat, Lobstein feels the heat. And now he walks Infante, and he will face at least 8 in this inning. And at times, this is the trait of a young pitcher, and Lobstein is only 25 years old. But look at the difference here. No one on, similar opponent's batting average. You put someone in runners in scoring position, Chris Young gets better. Lobstein struggles. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Chris Young gets even better. And Lobstein struggles.
Difference is major league experience and the service time. Lobstein, he's young in his career. He's going to find out later that really the mark of a good starting pitcher, velocity or not velocity, is how you execute and locate with runners in scoring position. Young has already figured that out.
And they're already working on Lobstein's pitch count. He's thrown 21. Paulo Orlando with Perez at third and Infante at first.
If Paulo Orlando hits a triple here, the house could come down.
Have to call at the knees, and it's 0-2.
I mean, for a guy that has the speed and the ability to hit the gaps like Paulo Orlando, this K is a perfect field for him. Very spacious. 387 in the gaps. 410 straight away. All he's got to do is just place it well.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Same thing the Royals offense did against Simon last night. He was a sinker ball pitcher, ground ball guy. The hitters want to see him up in the zone. Look for the pitch up and don't miss it. And that's what they're doing against Lobstein here. Same thing. He's a guy who wants to finesse you and make you swing at balls down out of the zone. The Royals are capitalizing on pitches that are elevated.
Ball with a different runner at third base. That might have resulted in a run. Popped out of Cabrera's glove. Sal had it in his heart that he was going to come down from third. I'm not sure his legs would have cooperated.
Yeah, no, he knows Paulo has a chance on an infield hit here or any kind of hit.
Deep short, and Iglesias with a heads-up play goes to second with a very acrobatic throw to end the inning. With 2 outs and nobody on, the swinging single, the bunt single by Eric Hosmer set up the inning. Morales drives in 2, Perez drives in 1.
All in 1 inning.
And a lot more pitches as well after getting the Tigers on fewer than 10 pitches in the first inning. Meanwhile, Kyle Lobstein threw 24 as he faced 8 Royals, and they scored 3. Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and Yoenis Cespedes in the second inning. And Yost said before the game in regard to Chris Young that right around 70 to 75 pitches would be ideal for him. He might stretch him a little further than that.
Of course, depending on how successful he is against the Tigers hitters.
He hasn't thrown more than 50 pitches in any of his 5 relief appearances for the Royals. One ball, 2 strikes.
Young throws what some hitters might call an invisible because it's so deceptive. It's hard to pick up. Look what he's done. Look what he did against the Tigers last year. 2 starts. Victor 1 for 3. That one was a double.
But you brought this up last night. His surgically repaired left knee, Victor Martinez, the pitch before that last one from Young, you could tell. I mean, he is a front foot swinger from this side of the plate.
He is, and that's going to hurt the Tigers. There might come a period of time this summer where he might have to take 15 days or so and strengthen that up so he can be at full strength. The Tigers, you know, they need every offensive guy they can get. And they did. They went out and got Cespedes. That was a huge add to their offensive lineup.
Fastball by him, and after the swing, Martinez limped for a step or 2. Chris Young has faced 4 and struck out 3.
Yeah, that makes Victor 1 for 10. I was reading J.D. Martinez. J.D. Martinez, hitter coming up, is just 1 for 3 in his career. But watch this. You're right. That left leg, see how? Look at that. That'll tell you right there the body language that's still bothering him. Right-handed, not so much, because that's not his plant leg.
Well, big power hitters. We love to look at their arms and their shoulders and their chest, but I mean, waist down, right? I mean, legs, knees, back leg. That's where the drive comes from, right?
To be a successful big league hitter with power, you have to incorporate your lower half as well as your upper half. It's a total package. I like to talk about hands a lot because hands, take your eyes, take your hands to the ball, but your legs set it all up.
1-2 on J.D. Martinez. And he's got J.D. Martinez reaching and off balance. Still 1-2.
Yeah, not one Tiger hitter so far that he's faced out of the 4 have looked comfortable at all. Give Young a 3-0 lead like that offense did, and just let Chris go to work.
So he has struck out 4 of the 5 he has faced. And now 2 down in the second inning.
Set invisible. It looks so good to the hitter. You think you can get to it, but you can't. A lot of guys go back to that dugout after facing Chris Young, shaking their head saying, wow, how does he do it? It's because he's very intelligent. He's well prepared, and he has experience.
We brought this up when he was pitching out of the bullpen. Because he is so tall, his stride is so much longer than an average pitcher. His arms are so much longer than an average pitcher that he may be throwing 86 to 88. But it's like he's pitching from 58 feet 6 inches as opposed to 60 feet 6 inches.
And how many times have you heard this cliche? Baseball's a game of inches. Believe it.
6 up, 6 down. An easy start for Chris Young, working with a 3-0 lead. who did not bat in the Royals' 3-run first. Good pitch by Lobstein over the outside. Chris has hit in 5 straight, starting his 2nd straight game with Alcides Escobar out, and now make it a 6-game hitting streak. And here come the Royals again. Runner at second base and nobody out to begin the bottom of the 2nd.
There are no soft spots in Ned Yost's offensive lineup. 0, none. You miss out over the plate, they're going to put the ball in play. That's granted. Sometimes you find holes, sometimes you don't. But man, the Royals offense can do no wrong.
Boy, did you see the vibration on the bat with Phantom Cam?
It's amazing, that great camera. It shows you exactly what that bat goes through, what the ball can make it do.
So what is the bat doing when it vibrates in a hitter's hand? We'll show you.
See how it affects his hands and his arms. The friction from that contact affects the fingers, wrist, elbow, goes right on up. It's like a mini earthquake to your hands.
Up into the clouds. Iglesias wants it and makes the play on Alex. 1 down.
Alex, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to hit that ball on the ground and move Colon over. Just got under it.
Lobstein in the first inning had 2 outs and nobody on. He had what looked like harmless ground balls to first from Gordon and Moustakas. And the next thing he knew, the Royals had 3 runs. Fastball at 87 in for a strike. Mike Moustakas entered tonight 5th in the league in hitting, 2nd in the league in runs scored, and he's one of the toughest guys in the league to strike out. First time in his Royals career he was player of the month. Mike Moustakas, Wade Davis were named the Royals players and pitcher of the month. We begin a new month tonight.
Had to have been a landslide. And no doubter.
Colon takes off. And he is going to be out.
Not a good jump. You have to get a much bigger initial lead, and you got to walk into it at second base. Hard to steal third base from a standstill unless you have a big initial lead.
Now with the count 1-2 and 2 down, the Tigers go into that exaggerated shift against Moustakas, who promptly goes the other way but hits it foul. And I don't even think those were Split's biggest glasses. But you can see the technology there. I mean, the glasses that Split wore, I mean, those are glasses he could probably use to read a book if he wanted to, but Lobstein, he got those goggles. It has been pointed out to me that this is a true split screen.
Way to go, Rhino.
There he is, Royals Hall of Famer.
Yep. Look, I don't draw a heart too many times, but he is well loved. Again, Moustakas with that two-strike approach. Anything in. Lobstein's trying to come in on his hands, and Moose is trying to fight him off to left field. And when they keep playing him that way, that's what he's going to do. Because look at the lob shots that he can hit out there. He has the opportunity to lob anything out there. He knows it. Very confident hitter going that way now.
And just look at how relaxed he is right now, just waiting on the pitch.
And I've noticed he's off the plate. Okay, he's moved off the plate this way, that direction. Okay, it's going to open up more to go to left field.
Back to Lobstein, who makes a nice play. So leadoff double, and Lobstein eventually only faces 3.
Spent most of his career as a starter, but the bullpen, they've gotten to know him, and what they say is this guy is extremely well prepared. Talking to Kelvin Herrera, he said that he studies every hitter, every pitch of the game. He's making mental notes. They're learning from him, from Chris, out there all the time. They said, as nice as he is too, he's a very intense guy. And then I thought this was funny. Kelvin said the bullpen grew up this year, and he meant they grew up because we got a guy that is 6'10", and he thought it was kind of funny too, that just like the old days when Jonathan Broxton used to play catch with Tim Collins, Chris Young plays catch with Jason Frazier.
Little difference in size.
Yeah, it's all good. Two veteran guys hanging out.
We showed you earlier that Chris Young becomes the tallest Royal to start a game. He is not the tallest Royal to pitch a game, tied with Andrew Sisco. Some of you might remember him, a left-handed reliever. 2-1 on Alex Avila.
Joel, that was some good pregame investigating, but I did a little bit of my own, talking to one of my former teammates and good friend Scott Bradley, who is the head baseball coach at Princeton, where Chris Young went to school playing basketball and baseball. So I asked Scotty, what about Chris Young? He said he's the most mentally competitive person I've ever been around. So focused, so prepared. His scouting report is according to his strengths. And I asked Scotty Bradley, when you had him, did you ever believe he could become a big league pitcher? He said, without a doubt. I knew he had a chance to be a big league pitcher for sure and have success, but at that particular time he was being courted by the Sacramento Kings, and he had a 2-year offer in basketball. And he said John Hart and the Rangers picked him, gave him a 3-year deal, and Chris Young became a baseball player and decided to do that. Amazing this guy's story, Chris Young. But Scotty Bradley, a 9-year Major League veteran with the Yankees, White Sox, Seattle, the Reds. For him to say that he's the most mentally competitive person he's ever seen, that says a lot.
And that's just the story of Chris Young to get to the big leagues. Then there's the line drive off the face from Albert Pujols. Castellanos into left field. Alex will make the play. There was the right shoulder surgery in 2009. And then the thoracic outlet surgery in 2011 where there's an obstruction. And it's been a while since I was at medical school. But I believe it is a rib that makes contact with a nerve or maybe a vein or an artery, and it cuts off circulation to the right arm. They have to go in there and remove the rib just so you can get the circulation back. Chris Young had that surgery, so he's had quite a journey once he became a big league pitcher.
It's not easy, young people. You have to have the physical talent. There's no doubt about that. But you must have the will to persevere and to move past obstacles, because negatives are right around the corner, not only in baseball, but in the world.
2-1 on Jose Iglesias. Now 3 balls, 1 strike.
How about Iglesias? Sitting out an entire season. He's a young player. Missed the whole year last year because he had shin splints, of all things. Hello.
Hello. There is no benefit whatsoever. Even if the pitch misses like this, there is nothing to be gained to flip the bat and run to first without hearing the call from the umpire. Right?
Well,
I mean, you don't get a ribbon. They don't put a gold star on your jersey if you get to first base quicker than the next guy, right?
No.
The only thing you can do is upset the umpire.
That's right.
Colon short hops, throws him out. Iglesias burning up the line. 3 perfect innings for Chris Young.
Cheese and crackers.
Captain in the United States Army JAG Corps from 1969 to 1972. A pillar of the Kansas City community, Tim has served on several boards, including Kansas City, Missouri boards for Municipal Revenue, Charter Review, and the National World War I Museum. And he's sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat at tonight's game. And while we're talking about the museum, we have a special event coming up, and we'll try and get that in while Lorenzo Cain leads off the bottom of the third inning. Lorenzo with 2 outs and nobody on in the first singled, and that was the beginning of a 3-run rally against Kyle Lobstein. We hope you'll join us for a salute to the Negro Leagues brunch prior to the Royals game on Sunday, May 17th. And for just $25, the brunch voucher will get you access to an exclusive event complete with live jazz, a full brunch buffet, a custom pair of Monarchs and Royals socks, and a $5 donation will be made to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. First strikeout for Lobstein. 1 down in the third inning. And now you can see behind Lobstein, he backs off as Nick Castellanos runs over from third into shallow right field. And as they shift for Eric Hosmer, as if Mike Moustakas was at the plate.
Lots of times when they shift, it's sure to play the percentages of getting the out, but yeah,
he beats the shift again.
Yeah, he's got to go here.
Oh. Safe with a hustling double.
Wow, was that a nice slide. Third consecutive inning, an extra base off of Lobstein. A hustle double. You love that. Off the bat, it's inside. They're trying to jam him. Hey, that's because they don't want him to get extended. But look at him fight this ball off. And the minute Hosmer saw it, he took off out of the box thinking 2 all the way. And watch this slide. Just barely getting in there. Morales, not counting that last beautiful double, is hitting .326 with 1 homer off of lefties.
Now it says 1 for 1 with a 2-run double in the first and a run scored. And for a pitcher, I mean, you never want to be hit hard, but if you're going to give up an RBI double, if the guy gets a good swing and hits a rocket off of you, well, tip your cap. Kendry's hit a little squibber right off the end of the bat that just spun by Miguel Cabrera over at first base. Now that ball's hit sharply into center field. Hosmer got a good break. Gose has a good arm and safe, as Avila was a little quick trying to apply the tag, and now he fires it into center field, but Gose is backing the play up. Nothing Royals in the third inning.
You notice the offensive hitters for the Royals not trying to swing for the fences. They're shortening their swings. They are continuing to frenzy hit by hitting the ball where it's pitched, staying within themselves, not trying to overswing. Another good example right there. Alex Avila, he had the ball. I mean, he just forgot. He was too quick. They might have had him out, but he tried to pull it down too quickly before he had it. Good call by Mike Jershely, third base coach of the Royals. Pressure him. You already got a lead. Continue to pressure. This is the Royals game. Speed almost in all the positions. Look at, he never even gloved it.
Tell you what, though, getting another look at it, that was a short hop. That was not a nice long hop, which a catcher likes to get from the outfield. So from our angle up here, It looked like he was just a little quick with the tag and didn't have the ball before he applied the tag, but that was a difficult short hop to deal with.
Absolutely. It was a do or die. That's all you have to do. That's all you have.
Oh, and 2 on Salvador Perez. Let's go to Joel.
Well, guys, Kendrys Morales keeps getting it done. And let's take a look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Most hits in a season by a Royals switch hitter. Nobody may ever touch Willie Wilson. Melky Cabrera a few years back, and then Beltran, Willie again, and Jose Offerman. As for Kendrys, it's early, but he's on pace for over 200 hits this year. Talking to him about switch hitting, he's a natural righty. He said a coach named Luis Suarez taught him when he was 12 years old back in Cuba how to hit from the left side. I said, Kendrys, how long did it take till you were comfortable swinging from the left side? He said, when I joined the Cuban national team at 13 years old.
Okay, so 2 parts of that story. It took him 1 year to feel comfortable switch hitting. Oh, and by the way, was on the national team at age 13.
Unbelievable. Oh, it's a good report.
Yeah, and that was the 13-year-old team. He said those national teams started at 13. He wasn't like he was 13 playing with the 18-year-olds, but he was one of the best in that country at 13, and then pretty much every age after that.
You know, the thing I've always loved about the Willie Wilson 230 hits in 1980. How about 100 hits from each side of the plate? Or at least 100 hits from each side of the plate.
Outstanding.
Castellanos backhands, throws out Sal, 2 down with Morales at second base.
Sure is an advantage to switch hit. It's hard to hit the ball, period, but a lot harder when you're on one side and the ball's breaking away from you. Very hard to hit that unless it's up in the zone and a mistake. Rhino, you hit mainly from the left side, right?
If you would say every single one of my at bat would qualify as mainly, I would say yes, I did hit mainly from the left side.
There's more. There's more righties.
Infante is out at first base. The Royals add another run. Hosmer doubles. Kendrys Morales drives in his 3rd of the game, and the Royals have given Chris Young a 4-0 lead. Newcomers off to good starts this season and tonight. Chris Young making his first start of the year, has 3 perfect innings. And Kendrys Morales has 3 RBIs. Salvador Perez is driven in the other run. Royals got 3 in the first inning and 1 more in the 3rd. Royals with a chance to move to 9 games above 500 for the first time. And off to a good start. So second time through, Gose, Kinsler, and Cabrera. And Chris Young is in with strike 1. Young has struck out 4, and in one stretch he struck out 4 of 5 hitters, including Gose. Got him with that pitch right there. Slider down. No balls, 2 strikes. Still 0-2. And very good shape as far as pitch count goes. And Ned Yost telling us before the game tonight, hoping for 70 to 75 pitches from Chris Young. And Gose is simply not picking up that pitch. But has 5 strikeouts in 3 1/3 perfect innings. Let's go to Monty.
Hey guys, it's great to see Chris Young doing exactly what Ned Yost was looking for him to do today, and that's really kind of cruise through these Tigers hitters. He's been very successful in his career against these Tigers, no different tonight. And a lot of people are asking, what's Chris Young all about? How does he do this? And I'm going to say one word to describe Chris Young. I would call him a pitcher.
Good feel for pitching. I mean, he looks like a guy who should be able to throw a baseball through a concrete wall. And who knows, maybe there was a time in his life when he could, but he certainly knows how to change speeds, hit his spots, use his size, his extension.
I love how he develops his scouting report according to his strengths, not to the batter's weakness. He's saying, I'm in control, I have the ball, I'm going to initiate the ball being in play, and we're going to play by my rules, my strengths. I love it.
What do you think about that, Monty? Did you focus more on your strengths or the weaknesses of the hitter?
Absolutely. I think I would go into these hitters meetings and hear all the talk about what these guys' strengths were, what you want to throw to them. But I would always go with what my strengths were. If I'm a breaking ball pitcher, I got to throw them a breaking ball, and I think that's the same with anyone. They have to really work toward their strengths if they want to be successful.
Tigers get their first base runner, and now Chris Young will pitch out of the stretch for the first time. And that means a man on for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera flied out to deep left in the first inning. Over the inside for a strike. So 0 for 1 tonight, 2 for 16 against Chris Young. One of those hits is a home run.
That's the first time I've seen a pitcher with those kind of numbers against this Hall of Famer. He normally dominates everyone. He's so great at staying inside the ball. His hands and eyes are attached. They're one. Good lower half, of course, got to have that. And you see that abbreviated slide step there by Chris Young. Now typically he's a guy that will give up a lot of steals because he's tall and it's hard for him to be able to get the ball home quicker without a big leg kick. It's not his game. But again, as intelligent as he is, now there's his move, he does not let the base runner get in his mind. He's like, you know what? Go ahead, steal the base. I'm going to execute my pitches once you get to second base anyway. I'll worry about the hitter. The hitter's the one who can hurt you. As an example, in 06, the opponents stole 41 bases off of Young. Only 6 of those scored. It's because he doesn't focus on the runners.
To add to your point, Hud, you haven't heard numbers like that for Miguel Cabrera against anybody. That is the 3rd worst batting average for him against any pitcher he's faced at least 15 times.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's been in the league for a while. He rakes everybody.
Very close. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good call. Lance Barrett is a home plate umpire.
Keeping that ball away from him.
Kinsler runs, and that is ball 4. So with 1 out, back-to-back walks. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one in tonight's game, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. There's the Miller Lite fountain bar, located on the base of the original Royals/Kauffman Stadium video board, Jumbotron. That looks like a great seat.
Oh, how about it? I wonder if you got to get here early now to get a seat up there like that.
Up and into Victor Martinez, who really looked like he was swinging on one leg when he batted in the 2nd inning, and Young struck him out.
Guys, one thing I'm sure Ned Yost will be keeping a close eye on here in this innings with Chris Young is, if you go back to his outing in Minnesota on April the 16th, he had 3 scoreless innings. He went out for the 4th inning, and when he got to 50 pitches, it was almost like he was out of gas, and now over 50 pitches on the night. I'm sure this is something that both Ned Yost and Dave Allen have their eye on.
Good point, Monty. Strike over the outside, 1-1. There is no activity in the Royals bullpen at the moment. Now 55 pitches. One and 2.
Young might want to use that slider now. He's been pitching Victor up in the zone, high fastballs. Now he'll try to break that slider down low, see if he can entice Victor into grounding into a double play. We would like that. Conserve that pitch count a little bit. Victor has grounded into 4 already this season.
Two and 2. Chris Young retired the first 10 tonight after striking out Ghost to begin this 4th inning. This will be his 20th pitch of this inning, which will officially classified as a long inning. But after the Ghost strikeout, Kinsler walked and Cabrera walked. Pulled foul off the tarp.
Nice changeup. Little bit elevated, though. He didn't really want it there, but that's what you do. Yeah, get him out ahead, he pulls it.
Two and 2. I don't know if it's the deception of Chris Young, and I'm sure it's part of it, or if it's the left knee of Victor Martinez. But there's been a couple of swings in this pitch sequence here that I'm used to seeing Victor Martinez hit a ball like that up the right field line or into the gap in right center. Well, maybe it's a combination of both.
Yeah, and Young, as intelligent as he is, has already faced Victor once, and he might sense that he's better off with his high fastball.
Well, now way inside to make it 3-2. So now 60 pitches. And Young is fighting the strike zone, and now we do see Jason Frazier warming up in the bullpen. Another foul ball. On the topic of that surgically repaired left knee, he had surgery on that left knee in the 2011 offseason. So in the course of what, 4 years, he's had that knee operated on twice. And then all those years as a catcher, all the wear and tear on his knees, getting in and out of a crouch. Another foul ball.
Guys, I had a chance to visit with Wally Joyner, the Tigers hitting coach today, about Victor Martinez, and that was one of the things he said was very important for this Tigers team to click on all cylinders, was to get this guy healthy, and it's obvious now that he is not healthy.
He's hanging in there.
Sure is.
That'll be out of play.
10 pitch at bat, 11 coming. Salvy's going to have a little chat. So Victor, just himself alone here in this at bat, is making Young spin some pitches.
He has fouled off 7, by the way. Not many empty seats here tonight. We expect the same for tomorrow and into Sunday. And a great night to be outside. Chris Young has walked the bases loaded after retiring the first 10.
Good try to get it up and away from him there. Just missed.
Well, Dave Island's out there to have a chat with him and give Frazier a little extra time to warm up, although Frazier doesn't need much time, being a lifelong reliever. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation.
See if he can entice J.D. Martinez into a little 6-4-3 here.
Martinez was a victim of a Chris Young fastball when he struck out in the second inning. J.D. Martinez is 0 for 5 in this series with 4 strikeouts. That ball skips away from Sal, but no advance, and it's 0-2.
And you notice that Chris Young has gone with 2 breaking balls to start off this at bat against Martinez. And a lot of times when a pitcher starts having issues with command, he gets in that fastball mode where just fastball, fastball, fastball. And with Chris Young, a lot of times he's pitching upstairs with intent. But in his last 3 batters he's faced, it seems like that fastball has gotten away. So nice to see him get back in the strike zone with that breaking ball.
Struck him out on 3 pitches. 6 strikeouts for Chris Young. and 5 strikeouts for J.D. Martinez in this series.
Well, we all know that Dave Island is one of the best pitching coaches there are anywhere around. But whatever he told Young, it worked.
Monty, I've also heard that when a pitcher's missing with his fastball, that a breaking ball is a good rhythm pitch. You agree?
Yeah, it's a pitch that makes you kind of stay within yourself. It makes you stay behind the baseball longer and allows you to finish. And when you finish, you have a better chance of throwing a strike.
But the inning is not over. Dangerous hitter at the plate who could tie this thing with one swing. Yoenis Cespedes flied to right field in the second inning. All
right, let's take a look at Miguel Cabrera back in his last at bat. Watch the facial expression. Yeah, that's body language to say, ooh, that little spinner, that's tough.
Now the crowd out of their seats trying to get behind Young. Here's his 70th pitch, and it's up and away. So now we're into that pitch count, pitch range that Ned Yost was talking about before the game. Somewhere between 70 and 75 pitches is what he's comfortable with tonight. He had him all the way. Just wanted to inject a little excitement in front of the full house. And how about all the standing around on defense? 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Forever Young. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. "4-0 Royals. 3 runs in the first inning, 1 in the third. Paulo Orlando batting 8th and playing in right field, takes strike 1.
You know, by that look there, it looks like to me Ned's going to let him go out and see if he can finish off the bottom half of the order, the bottom third. You got 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Tigers.
How do you evaluate that inning? I mean, on one hand, you say, okay, he's at that 70 pitch range that Ned talked about. He walked 3, but he also struck out the side.
That's when managers use the coaches around him, especially your pitching coach, Dave Island. Ned has gotten so much better taking his team to the top of the mountain last year. He relied heavily on his coaching staff, and he knows how important they are.
Pulled through the hole. Paulo Orlando is 1 for 2. Craft and Draft featuring Boulevard is the new place to be here at Kauffman Stadium. It's now open on the loge level. This unique space offers fans an open air, climate controlled destination with over 75 beer varieties, gastro pub fare, and a custom pizza bar. And the venue is open to any ticket holder, and select single and group tickets are also available. We're going to broadcast from there on Wednesday night. Monty spent some time there last night checking in with us. Details at Royals.com/craft and draft.
Guys, a pretty unique experience for a ballpark to go out there and you don't necessarily feel like you're at a ballpark, but you have a great game and tremendous crowd out there having a good time.
Are we going to be able to call the game from up there, Monty?
It'll be loud. I can tell you that. There are a lot of people who are going to be very excited to have HUD up there.
Strike to Christian Colon. He doubled leading off the second inning. He's hit in 6 straight. There's a pretty shot of the championship banners atop the Royals Hall of Fame. And look at the colors of that sky.
Imagine that, another royal blue sky.
Strike over the inside, and now Colon down 1-2.
Paulo Orlando has 1 stolen base, been caught once.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. We found out before the game tonight that the Royals will indeed place Alcides Escobar on the 7-day concussion disabled list. And when it comes to concussions or concussion-like symptoms, a new rule in effect the last 3 or 4 years, so you don't have to put a player on the full 15-day disabled list. And a delayed steal by Colon. Avila lost his balance in trying to throw down to second base. I've lost count how many times the Royals have used a delayed steal this year.
It's just another weapon besides the straight steal. Everybody in the league knows about the Royals and the running Royals, but when Rusty Kuntz incorporated that delayed steal last season, that really has them thinking. Colon, he's hot.
Orlando got a good break. That was a borderline play. Iglesias could have gone to third, but Orlando got such a good break that Iglesias had to throw to first, and now runner at third with 1 down. Two days ago in Cleveland, and tell you what, when he went down after getting hit by Danny Salazar, the 7-day concussion list didn't sound all that bad. Our University of Kansas hospital injury report. So eligible to be reinstated next Thursday. Doctors not comfortable with a battery of tests that Escobar went through before the game tonight. And a strike to Alex.
It's a good thing they didn't have that test back in our day, because there's a lot of guys that wouldn't have passed it, but yet they played the next day because we didn't know what we know now about concussions.
Oh, 2. It's interesting. We've learned a lot about it the past couple of days, but every player goes through a battery of tests and they develop a baseline as far as their reactions, and that's recorded. So if a player has concussion-like symptoms, they go through those same tests again, and they have something to compare it to. Just outside. So in other words, it's not. It'd be unfair to just test everyone on the same merit, because some guys' reactions are going to be better than others. Some guys' eyesight is going to be better than others. Ability to track an object better than others. So you're only being compared to your own baseline. And Alex will not get that call, as the one before went his way. Second strikeout for Lobstein, and that was a big one with a runner at third and one out.
Yeah, if anything too close out there, you got to be hacking if you want to get another chance. At least try to foul it off. That was an excellent pitch by Lobstein. This young man's going good. He's really a command pitcher. He can hit his spots.
Mike Moustakas with Orlando at third, and now 2 down. He pitches a little bit outside. Orlando opened the inning with a single, went to second on a delayed steal, and went to third on a ground ball by Colon. Fouled it off of his foot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Moose has a chance for another 2-out RBI.
Left center field, Cespedes calling off Ghost. The wind grabs it, so he fades back and makes the play. Orlando is stranded at third. Chris Young back out for the 5th. The Royals lead 4-0. Was a best case scenario for the Royals that he would go 5 innings, and had some trouble but got out of the 4th in our sprint cuts of the game.
He was cruising. First 10 batters he retired all of them. Then he walked 3 and he went back to the trusty breaking ball. The breaking ball got him out. Punched out the side. Gives him 7 strikeouts on the night. He just put on a clinic right there to one of the best offenses in baseball. When runners get in scoring position, you break out your best stuff.
He has recorded 12 outs, and he has only needed the defense for 5 of those outs. And really, in the 4th inning, all the Royals needed was Chris Young and Salvador Perez on the field, because Young struck out 3 and he walked 3.
So the Royals are deep as far as extra pitchers that need to help out when somebody goes down, extra infielders or outfielders. But this signing right here was a brilliant idea.
1-2 on Alex Avila. He flied to center in the third inning.
Chris Medlin, who's with the team, is getting ready to head out on Monday to go out to Arizona. There's you another starter in the waiting.
Eight strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings, including the last 3. So he walked the bases loaded with 1 out in the 4th inning, and now he's struck out 3 in a row.
Well, what he's doing here is the first time through he was using a lot of high fastballs. It was working. Again, a couple of changeups, a few sliders, but then he starts going to the breaking ball here now, and it's got those Tigers all messed up mentally.
Last year with Seattle, Chris Young's season high for strikeouts was 8. Without looking at his day-by-days, Dave Holtzman, I'm assuming he did that in more than 4 1/3 innings. 13 outs, 8 strikeouts.
That's crazy. As modern day terminology, that's sick.
He struck out 8 twice last year. Both times it took him 7 innings to strike out 8. Tonight 4 1/3. Castellanos flied to left first time up. Off the end of the bat. And Alex will make the play. Two down. Well, everyone's favorite day at Kauffman Stadium is coming back. T-shirt Tuesday with the Cleveland Indians. Be one of the first 10,000 fans and celebrate Cinco de Mayo in style with a Los Reales shirt courtesy of Teva. It's a 7:10 game. The gates open at 5:30. Get here early for your T-shirt. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Well, guy's got his Royals T-shirt on. I hope he's not very close to home plate. Oh, 2 on Iglesias, and he better be swinging after taking off for first base on what he thought was ball 4 back in the 3rd inning. He was more than halfway down to first until he realized Lance Barrett had called the 3-1 pitch a strike. 9 strikeouts in 5 hitless innings for Chris Young.
Incredible performance. Not just good.
Royals, and some pats on the back from his teammates and the coaching staff. And Ryan Madsen works in the Royals bullpen as Kane with a check swing, and Jose Iglesias makes another impressive play in this series to get Lorenzo Cain. He's 1 for 3.
That's an incredible play.
Let's bring in Jeff Montgomery and Monty. Chris got through the 4th inning. It wasn't easy. He walked 3. He also struck out 3, and I guess when he's been around as long as he has, Ned Yost probably goes to him and says, "You think you have one more in you?"
Well, I'm sure glad he did, Ryan, and he's a guy that just was out there battling all night long, looked very strong. And we talk about a lot of teams and the depth that the Royals have comparatively in the bullpen, and now we're going to look at the Royals as their starting opportunities with Chris Young now answering the bell in such a huge way tonight, adding depth to the rotation. Wow, a lot of teams would love to have a guy like Chris Young in one of their top 2 or 3 guys.
Chris Young struck out 9 in 5 innings. No hits. But it's his first start. He had not thrown more than 50 pitches in any of his relief appearances. So if you're frustrated that he won't get a chance to try and complete a no-hitter, I think the Royals feel pretty fortunate that he went as long as he did. Back up the middle. 3 hits for Eric Hosmer. He has scored twice. And he's on with 1 out in the 5th inning.
Hosmer came in hitting .231 off of lefties. Those 3 hits will get him up. That ball's up and in. They're trying to keep him from getting his hands extended. We'll show you a little bit of that vibration that we've been showing you with that great super slow motion camera.
One on, 1 out to Kendrys Morales. The Royals have 4 runs tonight. Morales has driven in 3 of the runs. 2 out, 2-run double in the 1st inning, and then an RBI single in the 3rd. Leading all designated hitters with 20 RBIs. Going for it all. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sometimes we'll see Morales early in the count take a big rip, and then as he falls behind, he shortens up his swing and just tries to find a hole. I mean, as consistent as you can ask out of a switch hitter.
And he doesn't have a weak side. He's been a little bit better on this side of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. Nice grab by a fan, playing that ricochet off the upper deck. Very casually reaching up and bringing it down with his bare left hand. Hit well to right center field. The wind is now blowing in. I don't know if Morales got enough of that to get it close to the wall, but the wind didn't help him at all. 2 down.
Hitters will tell you right away. They know whether they got it or not by watching Morales. Yep. He knows he didn't get it.
Salvador Perez is 1 for 2. He drove in a run with a 2-out single in the 1st inning. Four runs for the Royals tonight, 3 with 2 outs. Royals lead the major leagues with 52 two-out RBIs. Grounded to Castellanos. He'll go the short way, and Kinsler is there to end the inning. 5 in the books. Royals lead the Tigers 4-0. Hot dog derby in between innings, and no, these are not perfect strangers duking it out. In fact, that even looks a bit choreographed. But members of Sporting Kansas City were here tonight, and you don't want a hot dog, pun intended, in front of the Royals dugout, because I think a cup of ice made its way. But Overland Park's Matt Beasler beating out teammates Dom Dwyer and Graham Zusi, and having some fun along the way.
Oh, no wonder.
Gotta let the hometown kid win, right?
That was great.
Ryan Madsen is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Anthony Gose out to Omar Infante. 1 pitch, 1 out. So the Royals bullpen, which is the best in baseball by a wide margin, has 4 runs as a lead as we begin the 6th inning. Madsen will get Gose, Kinsler, and Cabrera. Ian Kinsler has walked and struck out.
Royals are throwing out tonight the first 2 pitchers that a lot of basketball teams would love to have. Chris Young, 6'10", and now 6'6", Ryan Madsen. Fastball 88 to 94. Slider and a great changeup.
The changeup came in high. I don't think Kinsler's going to see that pitch again.
Now, Kinsler, he's really short to the ball, doesn't have a lot of movement in his swing, and he's powerful.
Fastball just missed at 95.
You know, watching Madsen now, like we have, watching that changeup, you know, sometimes he's not sure where it's going to move. It moves so much. It's almost like a guy with a knuckleball. Once he lets it go, you never know which direction it's going to go. Salvi He caught it and then went down low, but looked like a good pitch.
Pass Madsen, but Infante is there. 2 ground balls to second base, 2 down to Miguel Cabrera. You know how good the Royals bullpen has been this year. Our T-Mobile game changer. How about the Royals bullpen at home? Now 32 2/3 innings, no runs allowed. And if you go back to 1974, when the stats services started keeping a closer eye on bullpens and tracking that, this is the longest streak since '74 for a bullpen at home. Scoreless streak. Outside to Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera walked and flied out to deep left against Chris Young. And remember, we were telling you when Cabrera batted against Young in the 4th inning that Cabrera being 2 for 16 against Chris Young, that was the 3rd worst average for him against any pitcher he's faced at least 15 times. Next on the list is Ryan Madsen. So Chris Young was Miguel Cabrera's 3rd worst matchup in his career. Ryan Madsen is his 4th worst matchup in his career.
They're going to make Cabrera earn it tonight.
Alex to the track and makes the play.
Just got in on his hands enough.
33 consecutive scoreless innings at home for the Royals bullpen.
Madison's magnificent.
Four 4-0 Royals as they bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lower third, Omar Infante, Paulo Orlando, and Christian Colon. All 3 of those hitters looking for their first home run, and this is the perfect inning. Our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Sophia Poor from Wellsville, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Sophia wins $200. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Sophia wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. That'll be into the big crowd here tonight. Infante walked in the first inning. That was his first walk of the year in his 66th plate appearance. and then he grounded back to Lobstein in the third. A little bit inside, 2-2. That will land in the Royals dugout.
It was a protection swing. Didn't really want it, but didn't want to be called out, so he just tried to hit it foul like he did.
Those two guys have driven in all the runs. Kendrys Morales on the left has 3. Salvador Perez has driven in 1. Not quite, Sophia, as Cespedes makes a play in left field. Kyle Lobstein, 25 years old. He was a prospect in the Rays organization. He was their second-round pick in 08. But after the 2012 season, Tampa Bay did not have him on the 40-man roster. So the Mets took him in the Rule 5 draft, traded him to the Tigers. So he had Rule 5 status a couple of years ago, but then the Tigers worked out a deal with Tampa Bay where they did not have to keep him at the big league level. He was able to continue some seasoning in the minor leagues. Orlando grounds out to Castellanos, 2 down. It's always unfair to compare a young pitcher to somebody who had a very good career, but as far as ability, not success, but ability, the name that gets thrown around comparing to Lobstein and what he might be is Chuck Finley. Ability, not success. I see you shaking your head. We've heard that before.
I know, but I played behind Finn. Finn had a split finger. That's different than the changeup.
Okay, all right.
Finn he would bury hitters with that splitty.
Royals had a pitcher in their minor league system who was part of that James Shields, Will Myers deal that Chuck Finley's name came up. Mike Montgomery, remember him? Well, I'm glad you cleared that up because I knew that you had seen him a lot and
played behind him.
I saw very little of Chuck Finley. He was at the end of his career.
Yeah,
when I saw him.
Finn's 6'6". I didn't like that when I
you read that too?
I saw that and I disagreed with it then.
Would you at least agree that they're both left-handed?
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go.
But I don't know about Lobstein's makeup, although I see he has good mound presence. By watching him, he's very smooth with his delivery. But Chuck Finley, he was a tough dude. I saw Chuck Finley call out Ozzie Guillen during batting practice. We're all stretching. And Chuck gave up a big home run the night before, and Guillen was in the dugout yelling at him, saying, "You're a big sissy and you don't have anything." And Chuck heard him. Didn't say anything. Next day in batting practice, walked up to the batting cage and says, "Hey, would you like to say those things to my face now?" He wilted. He went around the other side of the cage.
pitchers for 6 innings. Here's the Royals Player of the Month for April, and we hope you'll vote for the Royals Player of the Month for May later this month at rallyhouse.com. You'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. 356, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. And for his role, now batting second, the most important number is runs scored, and second in the league with 19 from Mike Moustakas. As he shifts over to the right side against Victor Martinez. Chris Young, 5 hitless innings. Ryan Madson, 1 hitless inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victor Martinez. He is struck out and walked. The Tigers have had 3 runners, all walks, and 3 consecutive walks in the 4th inning. Two balls, 1 strike.
Not only are these 2 guys that we've seen tonight, Chris Young and Madson, are they a good fit for the team between the lines, but you can't find 2 better gentlemen out there. These guys are really super guys, nice guys. You know, they'll talk to you. They're real friendly around their teammates. They're just a huge addition on and off the field.
And what they have in common, aside from size, is that both of them had the game taken away for a while.
It's a good point.
Ryan Madson, when he appeared on opening day for the Royals this year, was the first time he pitched in the big league since 2011. Grounded out to Moustakas, so he's playing like a second baseman, and over to Hosmer. 1 down in the 7th inning. The Royals have never had a combined no-hitter. They have had 4 individual no-hitters, and the last one was 1991. High to J.D. Martinez. He struck out twice against Chris Young. Chris Young, by the way, struck out 9 in 5 innings. The Royals have also never been victimized by a combined no-hitter. Steve Busby pitched the Royals' first no-hitter in '73, another one in '74. Jim Colburn in '77, and the last Royals no-hitter was Brett Saberhagen in 1991. Still 0-2 on J.D. Martinez. Lays off the changeup, 1-2. Tigers' last hit was the 8th inning last night. Right over the outside, and 3 strikeouts tonight. 6 strikeouts in the series for J.D. Martinez, and this is just game number 2.
Man, you had him guessing up there, and he snuck that fastball on the outside part of the plate, and J.D., you got to go. Having that height advantage is really a deceptive factor, especially with the downhill angle. But unlike Chris Young, Madson throws 95, so he has a little bit more life on his fastball that makes that changeup even more exceptional. But both pitchers tonight using excellent off-speed stuff. Young, he's a primarily fastball pitcher. But his slider was his go-to pitch when he needed it.
Little bloop. Cologne out. He's got it. 7 hitless innings. Chris Young, Ryan Madson combined. There's your 7th inning stretch. Royals lead 4-0. Sports and outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Well, a lot going on tonight. The Royals on their way to taking the second game of this series with Detroit. 4-0 to the bottom of the 7th, and Royals pitchers have thrown 7 hitless innings. Alex Gordon is out on a fantastic play by Nick Castellanos.
On contact, Alex thought he had him a base hit. Castellanos, not only was it squibbed perfectly, but it had spin all over it. Tough to barehand a ball that's spinning like that. Throwing off your right leg, got him by a half a step. We've seen a couple of nice plays by the left side of the infield tonight of the Tigers. So again, going to that shift on Moustakas.
Mike Moustakas is 0 for 3. Here's our Toyota League leaders for tonight. How about that? 5 of the 9 in the starting lineup tonight hitting 300 or better. 1-1 on Moustakas.
I mean, where's the easy out there?
Alex Gordon dipped below 300, going 0 for 4 so far tonight. So the Royals started the night with 6 above 300. Next closest team has only 4. Moustakas has grounded out, lined to the pitcher, and flied out. Pulls it out to Cabrera. He'll go to the bag himself. Close play as Moustakas was running hard. 2 down. Well, you got to give Kyle Lobstein credit. Doesn't have a lot of major league experience. And in the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on, he gave up 3 runs. Not all of the hits were hard hit. Gave up another run in the 3rd inning, but he's really settled in nicely since, and he's very close to giving the Tigers 7 innings.
That's the importance of getting first inning runs, though. But before the guy settles down, sometimes it takes them that first inning to get through their pitches and see what's working and what's not. The Royals jumping on some guys early this year.
Center field, Ghosts coming in. He'll play up the plate on a bounce. Lorenzo Cain has a 2-hit game, and he's on with 2 down. .96 pitches for Lobstein. They are ready, and the Tiger bullpen have called upon, and this may be Lobstein's last hitter as he faces left-hand hitting Eric Hosmer. Cain back. Crowd doesn't like it, and there's a lot here tonight. A sellout. 38,186 is the 3rd sellout of the year, and we expect the same tomorrow for the 6:10 game. Ball 1 to Hosmer, who has a 3-hit game, and that includes a bunt single in the first inning. With 1 on, 2 out, I really thought that got the inning going. Hosmer against the shift bunted toward third base. That turned into a 3-run inning.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then we showed Detroit manager Brad Ausmus right after that.
Pulled out to Castellanos in shallow right field, and Hosmer's out for the first time tonight.
Ausmus looked a little shocked.
To you by Miller Lite.
Chris Young, in his first start as a Royal, wasn't just good, he was great. 5 strong innings, that's all he could go. 9 punch-outs, just 3 walks. Tremendous job. Madsen, equally as effective. No hits.
And there you go, 7 hitless innings for Royals pitching, and it doesn't get any easier at all for the Tigers, because here's Kelvin Herrera to face Alex Avila, Nick Castellanos, and Jose Iglesias. Chevy called to the bullpen, and the Royals bullpen has now pitched 34 consecutive scoreless innings at home this year. Herrera has a 1.08 ERA with 10 strikeouts in 8 1/3 innings.
Tigers know what's coming. Fastball anywhere from 93 to 100. Occasional slider and several excellent changeups. He's mainly fastball changeup. Most back end of the bullpen guys only need 2. Don't have to face the guys 3 and 4 times.
One and one on Avila. 2 at-bats against Chris Young. He flied to center and he struck out. Two and one. Tigers have come to the plate in 7 innings before this inning. 6 times they've gone down 1-2-3. The exception was the 4th with 1 out. Chris Young walked the bases loaded. He walked Kinsler, Cabrera, and Martinez, and then bounced back to strike out J.D. Martinez and Yoenis Cespedes. 100 miles an hour. And now 2-2 on Avila.
Hard to touch that. You can touch it, but it's going to go foul. It's almost impossible to get on top of a ball at 100 elevated like that.
Now 3-2. And a walk. So 4 base runners for the Tigers tonight, all with walks, and this is the first time they've had a leadoff man on. Let's go to Joel.
Ryan. Anyway, let's take a look at the Mazda game break and some history in Boston. This is a pinch hit home run. Alex Rodriguez, number 660, tying Willie Mays for 4th all time. I'm sure that was highly celebrated in Boston.
That's one word to use. Celebrated. Line base hit left field. So the Tigers get their first hit. 2 batters into the 8th inning. And nice applause from the sellout crowd here tonight, hoping to see a combined no-hitter, which the Royals still have never completed. The last time the Tigers were no-hit was just a couple of seasons ago. How about this? What a way to finish the regular season. The Tigers were no-hit last game of the regular season at Miami by Henderson Alvarez. Ooh. Off the plate. Going to be a tough play. Infante tried to grab it with the bare hand, and all of a sudden, in a 4-0 game, the Detroit Tigers have the bases loaded and nobody out.
Absolutely nothing you can do on that play. Iglesias flies down the line.
A walk, a single, and another single. Anthony Gose has just 2 plate appearances in his career against Herrera. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Tonight 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and Herrera misses high and away. So here we are in the 8th inning. The Tigers have only had base runners in 2 innings, but in those 2 innings they loaded the bases. Goes late on a fastball, 1-1. Two balls, one strike. Salvi's a bit concerned that maybe Herrera's trying to overthrow.
Yep, looks like he might be flying open a little bit with his front shoulder.
And in case you're wondering, and every manager has this in the back of their mind when you face the Detroit Tigers, Anthony Gose, who hits now as the leadoff man, Miguel Cabrera is hitting third. So Cabrera is 2 hitters down the road from Gose. Your managers say that all the time about the elite hitters. You always know where they are in the batting order. When are they coming up next?
Better believe it. Herrera needs a strikeout.
Two and two. Over Herrera. He may have got his glove on it. Barehanded Colon to get the out. A run scores to make it 4-1. And the Royals were lucky there to get an out.
Sure were. Now when Herrera tipped the ball with his glove, you almost had to hold your breath with Colon. Great jump coming in. Bare hand. Beautiful play.
So now you have an open base at first, and that takes away the possibility of a ground ball double play, not having to face Cabrera at all. And Kinsler takes one under the chin, ball one. Now 2 balls, no strikes, and another trip to the hill for Salvador Perez. And Dave Island is going to join the conversation. Tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on NHL and NBA playoff action. And today's Major League Baseball games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Boy, how quickly this game has turned. The Royals coming into this 8th inning with a combined no-hitter and a 4-0 lead. And now a tying run at the plate with 1 out. And Ian Kinsler is ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes, with Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck.
Yep. You know, sometimes when you try too hard, it doesn't always work. He just wants Herrera to go out there and stay within himself, stay on top, drive down through, not pull that shoulder out of there.
The inning started with a walk, and that runner came around to score. And now a second walk in the inning loads him up for Cabrera.
Meeting of the minds out there. So if you're wondering what Cabrera is lifetime off Herrera, he's 2 for 10. Ground ball double play would be really nice if that's up to Mr. Cabrera, though. He's grounded into 5 this year.
Right at him with a fastball. 99 miles an hour. Cabrera tonight has flied to deep left field twice. In the first inning against Young, in the 6th inning against Madsen, and in between he has walked. Right off the mask of Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire. Right now Herrera has the advantage, 0-2.
Don't have long to react to that, that's for sure. And man, that hurt. Salvi, he wasn't walking out there to talk to Herrera. He's giving home plate umpire a little bit of time to shake that one off.
Last night the Royals held the Tigers to 1 run, 7 hits. Tonight they have held them to 1 run, 2 hits.
Where was that? Straight as a string, right on the corner, right where you teach those pitchers to put it on a guy like Dessa's power.
Two and two.
Back of his mind, he knows the changeup's there. If Herrera does throw it, it's got to stay down. It's got to have that downward movement down by the knees. Don't leave it up. Speed is bad up. Salvi really taking some time in this inning here, trying to guide Herrera through it.
3rd time he's gone to the mound.
Yep.
Wade Davis getting ready for either the 9th or possibly put the lid on this inning. Taking a shot at right field in a late swing on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and you say, well, of course, I mean, most people are going to be late on 98, but I'm with you, Hud. I think he's got that changeup in the back of his mind.
But he also understands when you face a power pitcher like this, the pitch supplies the power, not the swing. It's all about just making some solid contact with your hands, shorten up your swing. He knows that.
There's the changeup.
Okay, now 3-2. He knows the fastball's coming. He's thinking. He could be guessing, and he might cheat a little bit on it. See if Herrera can make a pitch.
Over 38,000 here tonight. When the inning began, the Royals were shooting for a combined no-hitter. And we'll do it again. 100 miles an hour. Still 3-2.
Cabrera making Herrera work. Great hitter like this in this count knows that fastball's coming. Herrera's working it down the middle, in, away. Cabrera just doing all he can to get his pitch.
8 pitches, 5 foul balls. 6 foul balls.
Just barely got a piece of that one. He looked back to see if Salvi gloved it. Classic confrontation here. Power on power.
Struck him out. It took 10 pitches, but Kelvin Herrera in the end gets a fastball by one of the game's best.
When you got a great fastball like Herrera, that's what you go to. If he's going to beat you, make him beat you with your best. All the pitches fouling off. 100, 98, 99, 100. Changeup just to keep him honest. 100, 97, 98, 99. And Miguel has got to go.
He is always having fun, and he appreciated that matchup with Herrera. He smiled and almost kind of nodded his head at Herrera and said, "You got me." This inning is not over. Victor Martinez takes outside, ball 1. Watch Cabrera's reaction.
Yep. You know what? He's probably telling the same thing that Manny Ramirez used to say when he'd go back to the dugout. Hey, look, sometimes you get me, sometimes I get you.
And now 2-0 on Victor Martinez. 1 for 3 against Kelvin Herrera, so he doesn't have nearly the experience that Kinsler or Cabrera had.
Facing 2 great hitters in a row. Making Herrera work. 30th pitch coming in the inning.
In the air to left field. Well hit. Not hit hard enough.
Incredible drama here at the K.
The inning began with a combined no-hitter. It ends with fingernails bitten down to a nub.
He really bared down on Cabrera, didn't he? I mean, just challenged him with everything he's got.
The Tigers only have 2 hits, but they had 2 great scoring opportunities in this game. Kendrys Morales had a big night already. Lines it to Cespedes, who had some trouble with the lights at the last moment. So Morales lines out. He's driven in 3 of the Royals' 4 runs tonight. And now here comes Brad Ausmus to finish the thought. Well, it looks like the Tigers have done basically nothing on offense, but remember, they had the bases loaded, 1 out in the 4th inning. Middle of the order coming up, got nothing. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th inning, and only got 1 run. So the Royals have really pitched well with men on base tonight. Jabba Chamberlain will take over with 1 out in the 8th.
White Sox trailing Minnesota late in that one. Tampa shuts out Baltimore. Seattle losing to red-hot Houston. Our Mazda game break takes us to St. Petersburg, Florida, where the Tampa Rays traveled absolutely nowhere for a road win. 2 runs in the 4th is all they needed, including this RBI from Evan Longoria. A road win on your home field. All 3 of those games over the weekend. Baltimore home games being played in St. Petersburg with the recent unrest in Baltimore.
They even wore the gray uniforms at home.
Very strange.
Jabba Chamberlain with 1 out, nobody on, pitching to Salvador Perez.
Fastball 90 to 94, slider and change.
Nice big hop. And Iglesias throws out Sal. Sal's 1 for 4. Jabba Chamberlain from Lincoln, Nebraska. Started his college career at the University of Nebraska Kearney, and then of course going to Lincoln, playing with Alex Gordon, Brian Dunsing, and Tony Watson. Jabba Chamberlain and Alex Gordon played together in the 2005 College World Series. Alex went in the 1st round that year to the Royals. Chamberlain the very next year in the 1st round to the Yankees. 2-0 against Omar Infante. The walk for Omar back in the 1st inning was his 1st of the year in his 66th plate appearance. 2-1. That'll bring back some bad memories. Remember, it was during the first homestand last year when Omar Infante was hit on the side of the face. It did not go off the ear flap like it did for Alcides Escobar, Trevor Bell, or Heath Bell. Pitching for Tampa Bay, hit Infante, somehow not breaking his jaw. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, dodged a huge injury bullet there. Those guys were former teammates with the Miami Marlins.
Royals did all their scoring early. They scored 3 in the first inning, another run in the third. And since getting that 4th run in the 3rd inning, the Royals have had just 3 hits since the 3rd, all singles. Kyle Lobstein did a nice job after struggling in the early innings, really found his groove and got the game into the 8th inning.
Certainly did. He became the pitcher that we were reading about. How smooth his mechanics were. And really looked good. Kept the ball down, changed speeds.
Well, Infante has a 2-walk game. Game 3 is tomorrow night, a 6:10 game with the Tigers, and it's our first bobblehead of the night. This year the Royals will give out 4 unique bobbleheads, each one celebrating an iconic moment from last year's postseason. We begin with Salvador Perez and his thrilling walk-off hit against Oakland in the wild card game. That's courtesy of Sport Clips, and it goes to the first 15,000 fans. Get your tickets now at Royals.com. Not many left, and you want to get here very early to make sure you get your Salvador Perez bobblehead.
Indeed. It's 2 walks by Infante. First 2 walks of the year for him.
Chava Chamberlain has Omar Infante confused with Omar Moreno.
That's awesome. All right.
In case you're wondering, Omar in stolen base attempts so far this year is 0 for 0.
Yeah, maybe Java's working on a few things.
Shallow right center field. Kinsler goes out and makes the play to end the inning. Tigers down by 3 coming up in the 9th inning. JD Martinez, Yoenis Cespedes, and Alex Avila. And waiting for them, Wade Davis.
Waiter, I'll take a yellow hammer and a side of cheese. All the runs, please.
In the third. The Tigers did not have a single hit until the 8th inning. 1 run, 2 hits for Detroit, but they've had some big chances tonight with 1 out and the bases loaded against Chris Young in the 4th inning. He struck out JD Martinez and Yoenis Cespedes to hold the Tigers scoreless. And then more drama in the 8th. Tigers had the bases loaded, nobody out. Then a run home with 1 out, and Kelvin Herrera strikes out Miguel Cabrera and then gets Victor Martinez to fly out to left field. Colon picks off the ground ball by JD Martinez. 1 down in the 9th inning.
I mean, it's playoffs on May 1st. Gotta love the atmosphere here at the K, and the players absolutely thrive off it.
Wade Davis was the Royals pitcher of the month in April, and that's why. 9 games, no ERA, 9 innings, 10 strikeouts in 9 innings, and only 3 base runners, 2 hits and 1 walk. Oh, 1 on Cespedes. Cespedes is 0 for 3. miles an hour. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yep. Power fastball cut. He'll cut that fastball and also throw an overhand curve. That's a beauty. It's a yellow hammer.
One and 2. Chris Young went 5 innings. And he struck out 9 in his first start of the year. And out only because of his pitch count. It was his first start of the season. In his 6th appearance, Ryan Madson 2 scoreless innings. Kelvin Herrera 1 run in 1 inning. And ball got away from Davis and Salvador Perez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers didn't get their first hit until 2 batters into the 8th inning. Up the right field line. That is down for a base hit. Cut off by Orlando. Cespedes to second. And he's in with a 1-out double. And just the 3rd hit for Detroit tonight. Their first extra base hit. Let's go to Joe Goldberg.
Well, guys, coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, obviously a lot to talk about that big first inning, but we will focus on Chris Young and some key strikeouts from Young in the 4th and that epic battle between Kelvin Herrera and Miguel Cabrera. Monty will break it down. That much more coming up.
All right, Joel, here's Alex Avila. Tigers need another runner for a chance. Shattered bat. Tough spot, and it drops. Detroit has runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and now the potential tying run comes to the plate.
Davis, good spot on the inside part of the plate. Avila just jammed it out there. Looked like to me Infante was looking for help. A minute of contact. Tweener.
Nick Castellanos 1 for 3. He got the Tigers' first hit in the 8th inning. When the Tigers scored their lone run in the 8th inning, it put an end to an impressive streak by the Royals bullpen. They had pitched 34 consecutive scoreless innings at home. That was a swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That guy can tell you it's not easy closing games down. Many times that we've seen him make it interesting in the 9th, but most of the time he comes out with the save, and now he's pulling for his partner Wade Davis.
One and 2. The double in this inning by Cespedes is the first extra base hit allowed by Wade Davis. It's only the 4th hit he's allowed all season. Remember last year, nobody got an extra base hit against Wade Davis until July 31st. And Kurt Suzuki hit a double for Minnesota. Still 1 and 2.
Home plate umpire.
Kind of ricocheted in between Sal and the home plate umpire.
Yeah, it looked to me like Lance Barrett was trying to catch it for Salvi. Couldn't quite glove it. Rolls down his back and he almost caught it.
Two and 2.
Infield straight up, outfield a shade to the opposite field.
Struck him out. 2 down in the 9th inning.
What a treat. The fans were entertained to the fullest. There's the yellow hammer. Really tough for a hitter. Looking at that Wade Davis 97 mile-an-hour fastball, and then he drops the hammer.
Royals pitchers have struck out 12 Tigers hitters tonight. Well, Cespedes at 3rd, Avila at 1st, and Iglesias at the plate. Ball 1 low. Iglesias 1 for 3 with an infield single. Batting at .375. Came in tonight 2nd in the league in that category. He has hit 1 home run this year, in case you were wondering. 1 and 1.
What a shortstop. I like watching him play. Quick feet. Can throw it a cannon across the diamond from any arm angle.
Look at that. There's your hammer. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, man. That is not pleasant.
Well, he's backing off thinking he might be hit.
Now he's thinking, gotta think fastball. Hammer time. Cutter.
Back to Davis. To first. Royals win game 2.
Waiter. Check, please.
for the first time this year, the Royals are 9 games above 500. They are 16-7. They are now 9-2 at Kauffman Stadium. And call it what you want, it's still early, but the Royals have a game-and-a-half lead over the Tigers in the standings.
And obviously a home field advantage.
KCW. What an interesting game.
I'll say.
Flip-flopping back and forth from Royals dominance on the mound to hanging on by their fingernails. And the guy that called every pitch tonight is down on the field with Joel.
Ryan, thank you very much. Joined by the All-Star and Gold Glove catcher. What do you got?
Somebody want to take my job.
Well, that's because you're here. So Kratz and Duffy are ready to get the Gatorade on you.
No, Bobby, I got my chest protector. I need it for tomorrow.
He needs the chest protector, the Gold Glove chest protector. Okay, let's talk business. Forget about them and let's enjoy the moment, okay? Chris Young, tell me about his first ever start for the Royals. But first off, oh no. Come on. I know you got what. At least it's not Gatorade.
Wow, Craxy. Wow. Unbelievable, huh?
Last night it was orange Gatorade. That was just white, so I'm glad for that. Anyway, Chris Young, no hit through 5. How'd he do it?
Pretty good. Everybody see that. Keep the ball down, up. It's hard to hit a guy like that. It's hard to hit a guy like that. You both side to the play, the pitch in, the slide, the changer. He's pretty good tonight.
You faced him before, now you're catching him. Why is he so hard to hit?
I think it's more easy to catch it than hit it.
All right, and then the no-hitter continues, and then Herrera loses the no-hitter in the 8th, and now suddenly you got one of the best hitters, your good friend Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Tell me about that battle with Herrera and Cabrera.
He's pretty good. Herrera is pretty aggressive. Just need to keep the ball down a little bit. And that's what he's doing. He made his adjustment, and he's checking out Cabrera.
Last thing. It's felt like a playoff crowd almost every time since the playoffs last year. What do you think of this on a Friday night?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Thank you for the crowd. Thank you for the people coming to see us. Thank you for the support. Thank you.
Good job, Salvi. Salvador Perez getting as big an ovation as we have seen all year long, and he caught some unbelievable pitching. Well, guys, Boulevard Royals Live coming up with half of a dry side and half of a wet side.
That away, Joel. Take one for the team.